Hello and welcome to Manga Tora 96, and today we continue with the Straw Hat crew discussion. Today's focus will be on everyone's favorite reindeer doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates, Chopper. This video will be in the same style like my other Straw Hat discussion videos were. I will go over Chopper's personality, his role in the story, and his combat abilities. Before we start, here's a brief overview on who Chopper is. Tony Chopper, also known as Cotton Candy Lover Chopper, is the doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates. He is the 6th member of the crew and the 5th to join, doing so at the end of the Drum Island arc. He was temporarily forced to join the Foxy Pirates during the Long Ring Long Land arc, but was quickly returned to Luffy's crew. Chopper is a reindeer that ate the Hito no Mi, a devil fruit that allows its user to transform into a human hybrid or a human at will. He came from Drum Island and was taught how to be a doctor by his two parental figures, Dr. Hiroluk and Kureha. His dream is to one day become a doctor capable of curing any disease and wants to travel across the world specifically in the hopes of accomplishing this dream. He currently has a bounty of 100 berry due to being mistaken for the crew's pet. Chopper is a naive and extremely timid towards unfamiliar humans, often acting like a child because he doesn't know any better. Like Luffy, he is easily impressed at things like beams, cannons and hidden abilities. He is a coward at times like Usopp and Nami, although his cowardness can be attributed to his childishness and overall lack of trust in his own fighting skills, a contrast to Nami's self-survival based cowardness and Usopp's insecurity based cowardness. He would rather run and hide than fight, but becomes more courageous when others are there to support him. Chopper is more or less on a journey to define himself, seeing almost anyone of his team as a role model, and in some cases imitating their behavior, especially Usopp. Being the youngest, Chopper is the most emotional Straw Hat and very much considers the crew his family. When forced to be part of the Foxy Pirates during the Davy Back fight, Chopper was distraught and cried that he was a Straw Hat and only stopped bawling when Zoro ordered him to be a man. After the time skip, Chopper seems to have grown more confident, much like Usopp. He no longer strives to be looked at as a human, not only wanting to be a monster that can help Luffy, as he put it. He even has grown mature enough to smack his crewmates, mostly Zoro and Luffy, when they try to do something stupid or extreme. He also seems to have outgrown most habits mentioned above, but his habit of picking still remains. Chopper is capable of romance, though he shows no interest in human females. However, he was blushing around the reindeer mink, Milky, acting in a very Sanji-like manner, with love hearts replacing his eyes. Immensely kind-hearted by nature, Chopper is an upright friend and caring companion who will try anything to overcome a task given by his team. Even back when he was Hiroluk's assistant, he would go to extreme lengths just to acquire a mushroom, which he thought would cure Hiroluk's chronic disease. Chopper seems to be very forgiving of those close to him. For when Usopp wanted to rejoin the crew at the end of the Enies Lobby arc, he called out to Luffy and Zoro, although they were ignoring him completely. His dream is to carry out his deceased mentor, Hiroluk's belief that there is no incurable disease, and to become a doctor that can cure any illness. To this end, his childish nature vanishes whenever his medical skills are required. He does not hesitate in the least in any action regarding the well-being of his patients. An extremely dedicated follower of the Hippocratic Oath, Chopper strongly believes that a doctor's duty is supposed to help save people and becomes angered when somebody treats life without proper respect. This was why he was greatly furious at his former hero, Dr. Hogback, when the man treated his patients and zombies' lives and deaths so casually. He was also utterly angered at Caesar Clown for kidnapping and experimenting on children, as well as making them addicted to drugs. Adhering to his beliefs, Chopper would really help any injured victim or patient he comes across, and does it with immense determination. He was determined to help Mocha and the other children who were tricked into becoming test subjects in Caesar's deadly experiments. Similarly, Chopper wasted no time in treating the Mink tribe after they were brutally devastated by the Beast Pirates. Also, Chopper holds his position as a doctor in high regards and will become distraught if he failed to save someone. When Luffy was on the verge of death from eating the skin of a poisonous fish, Chopper tried every antidote with no success, causing him to claim he had no right to call himself a doctor. Due to his morals, Chopper is infuriated by those who use artificial diseases as weapons like the Beast Pirates did with the Mummy virus. He still has a feeling of distrust for humans from his youth, and will often outright insult and claim that compliments do not make him happy, even though he is obviously happy about it. At least once, Chopper has done this dance while in Monster Point, in which case it did not look cute and only managed to disturb Usopp, who had caused Chopper to react this way by praising his newfound usefulness in being able to now control this form. Another one of Chopper's habits is his reverse cartoon peek, where he stands behind a wall or a doorway and peeks at people, trying not to be seen by them. Unfortunately, he is not hiding his body, but behind the wall, and as a result, his body is visible and only half of his face is hidden. A running gag is that Chopper will believe just about anything he hears, making him easy prey for Usopp's stories and his Sogeking disguise. He also believed Nami when she lied to Lola about being a man, even though the truth was very obvious. In fact, until Jinbei stated otherwise, he thought that the captain's duty was not to listen to anyone. Chopper also believed that fake Straw Hat crew were the real Straw Hats, despite them looking nothing like their real counterparts. He also tends to panic quickly and subsequently let some crucial facts slip his mind. One example is when there is someone who is injured, he often panics and screams, "Call a doctor." It is not until he figures out that he is a doctor that he starts to tend to the injured person. Another one is when he and Brook jumps into the water without hesitating to save Luffy from drowning, only to drown with him since the devil fruit which he had eaten makes it impossible for him to swim. He together with Brook and Luffy ends up being saved by the other members of the crew. Notably, Chopper originally was not hired to be the ship's doctor by Luffy, but just for being a talking, transforming reindeer monster. The other boys of the crew have often mentioned Chopper on what it means to be a real man, as he is the youngest crewman, not originally human, and has had a relatively sheltered life. With his combat relationship, he has at least 3 canon team attacks, and as a homage to his personality, which can be easily influenced, each of those attacks are named with half of the crew members' names and half of his name. All of the example features the fellow crew members' names first in the name of them his own, such as Hisatsu Uso Cho Hammer Sushi, where Usopp's name is the first mentioned. Within the group, Chopper often fools around with Luffy for laughs and is one of the first to join in with Luffy's antics. Although he tends to fool around with him the most, he also receives some of his greatness motivation from Luffy. His mentor Dr. Hilrock originally introduced Chopper to the concept of being a pirate and the conviction behind the pirate flag, but Luffy was the first real-life pirate that he got to witness in the Drum Island arc. He was amazed by how much Luffy as the captain cared for his crew, as demonstrated by the lengths he went to for Nami and Sanji. He was awestruck when Luffy took head-on attacks from Wapol in order to defend the honor of Dr. Hirolock's flag. Luffy's persistent request for Chopper to join the crew annoyed him greatly, but it also moved him to see that Luffy actually liked him for his transformations, when his whole life they had to lead to him being cast out and demand a monster. Chopper deeply cares for Luffy, as he will jump in the ocean to save his captain, despite having to be dragged out too since he's a devil fruit user. After the time skip, Chopper is more willing to beat up Luffy for stupid decisions making, but still strongly respects him as a captain, as seen when he witnessed Luffy defeat and tame Surume. In Punk Hazard, when the kids were drugged by Caesar Clown, Chopper told Luffy the importance of not letting the kids eat the candy, and Luffy respected his knowledge as a doctor. Chopper also seems to have a close relationship with Zoro. When Chopper near idol worships become he is so cool. Much like he does with Luffy and Usopp, they have a very close relationship. During the Long Ring Long Lat arc, Chopper is separated from the crew due to the Straw Hats losing an event and become distraught. Zoro yells at him to quit complaining, as being a pirate was his decision, and thus in this world no one will respect his tears. This strengthened Chopper's resolve as a pirate, and he becomes much less prone to crying and complaining, despite his childlike nature. Zoro tells Chopper that even though the crewmates have separated dreams, they still stick together as a crew and are strong this way. One of his favorite things to do is to ride on Zoro's shoulder when they are traveling, and often runs to him when he is scared. Zoro also seems more protective of Chopper than anyone else. It is seen that Zoro is the one to save him when he comically falls into any form of water when trying to escape Nami's wild mood swings, while Sanji has saved Luffy frequently in comparison. Though Chopper still gets annoyed with Zoro whenever he takes off bandages from injuries he sustained from battles or is attempting to train before his injuries have fully healed. However, he does irritate Zoro when Chopper clings to his face to avoid falling into water, such as what happened at Water 7 during the Aqua Laguna. Chopper is not afraid to argue or wrestle with a swordsman and hates it when Zoro shows a lack of care for absent crew members. After the time skip, Chopper is more willingly to beat Zoro up for any stupid decision making but still strongly respects his skill as shown when he was awestruck by his vastly improved strength in the fight against Surume. Typically, it is rare for doctors to fulfill roles other than medical practices for the benefit of those around them, but as the Straw Hat's doctor, Chopper's responsibilities are not limited to just medicine alone. He occasionally performs tasks like steering the ship as their unofficial helmsman while on the Going Merry, and during the heat of battle he can also fulfill the role of a physical fighter to support his friends. However, due to the part to his lack of battle experience or formal training, as well as his Rumble Ball's time-limited effect, Chopper was originally considered part of the Weakling trio along with Nami and Usopp. This lay largely in his lack of battle intuition and naivety at the time, though it is shown that he has gotten much more capable after his 2 years of training on Torino Kingdom. In spite of his usual fearful behavior, Chopper is shown to have a strong will as he withstood a burst of Conqueror's Haki from Big Mom. Having studied under Dr. Kureha, one of the finest doctors of the medical advanced Drum Kingdom, Chopper himself is an extraordinary doctor with outstanding knowledge of both medicine and medical drugs, as well as the preparation of most remedies and ointments that can be made from regular fruits, herbs, roots and vegetables that can be found and used on most islands. He is also capable of administering surgery. Overall, Chopper can treat even the most brutal injuries. During the 2 years he spent self-studying the Torino tribe's massive collection of books on herbalism in the Torino Kingdom, Chopper's knowledge of pharmaciology has immensely increased. In the Torino Kingdom, Chopper self-studied many books of new and highly effective remedies, ointments, unknown herbs with great healing properties, and other medical drugs that were developed by the inhabitants of the Torino Kingdom, which are largely unknown to the rest of the world. With this new understanding of medical drugs combined with the medical skills he had already mastered in the Sakura Kingdom, the scope of Chopper's healing skills as a doctor have become noticeably wider. The greatest example of this is during the Zou arc, as Chopper, with the assistance of the Minx tribe doctors, was able to use all of those skills to treat the gigantic 1000-year-old elephant Zunisha, whose legs was badly injured by the beast pirates. Chopper was able to invent his very own drug known as the Rumble Ball through 5 years of research, which helps to increase his Delfruit fighting abilities. In addition, while he was an apprentice of Dr. Kureha's, Chopper became aware of the highly addictive drug NHC-10, which only selected scientists in the selected countries allowed to use, and its harmful side effects. He is also capable of stabilizing the condition of someone suffering from an overdose of the drug. Chopper also easily created a cure for one of Queen's deadliest viruses, the Mummy virus. During the whole Cake Island arc, Chopper showed great tactical skills in the middle of his confrontation with Charlotte Brûlé, as he and Carrot came up with a method to deceive her by using a decoy of Carrot created by Brûlé's power. He has shown to be very analytical as he examined his surroundings before taking action. He pretended to remain restrained by chains in his heavy point, and when Carrot toppled the soup towards Brûlé and electrocuted most of the enemies, Chopper used the element of surprise by changing into Brain Point to break free before using Monster Point, subjecting the Crocodile Homie and wiped out the remaining enemies. Chopper even thought of exploiting Brûlé's Delfruit abilities to traverse Big Mom's territory through the Mirror World in order to find and save his friends, while remaining undetected by a majority of the Big Mom pirates. His strategy received praise from Capone Beige, the captain of the Fire Tank Pirates and a master tactician. During the mission to rescue Brook, Chopper used a skeleton with a seaweed for hair to use as a replacement for Brook after they retrieved him from Charlotte Linlin. Chopper has eaten the Hito Hito no Mi, a zone class Delfruit, which allows him the ability to transform into a human and a human reindeer hybrid at will. However, the fruit has granted Chopper more than just the ability to transform. It has also given him human intelligence, which allows him to both speak and think like an actual human. This is what allowed Chopper to become a doctor and learn about medicine in the first place, which is impossible for a normal reindeer. While Chopper is usually seen in his human reindeer hybrid form, which is a tanuki-like chibi creature, he would sometimes transform into his human form to try and feed with humans, often with minimal success. But when in combat, he also uses his Fruit powers in order to fight his enemies with the strength given to him by the fruit, and usually transforms into whatever form best suits the situation. In addition to his 3 forms granted by his Fruit, Chopper has also invented a yellow jawbreaker-like drug called the Rumble Ball through some research. This drug has the power to distort the wavelengths of the Devil Fruit transformation, allowing him to access to additional transformations for the 3 minutes. However, due to the risk of this alternation, the Rumble Ball's consumption must be closely monitored, and for this reason Chopper cannot consume more than one every 6 hours. If he takes a second one, his transformation will become out of control, and if a third one is taken, Chopper transforms into a massive berserk monstrosity as witnessed at Enies Lobby and Sabodi Archipelago, with equal monstrous strength that requires little amounts of energy to keep activate, making Chopper a danger to both himself as well as others. Prior to the time skip, Chopper could transform into 5 different forms under the influence of the Rumble Ball: Jumping Point, Guard Point, Arm Point, Brain Point, and Horn Point. After the 2 years time skip, he is seen being able to perform formidable martial arts maneuvers with his new form called Kung Fu Point, a melding of Arm Point and Jumping Point, and is now able to produce a new Horn Point with larger, stage beetle-like antlers which are useful for digging in the ground at high speed, along with a new and improved Guard Point which is now able to grow big and strong enough to protect the Thousand Sunny from one of the Kraken's tentacles. In addition, he is able to utilize those forms without consuming a Rumble Ball. Instead, eating a Rumble Ball now allows him to enter his most powerful form, Monster Point, and fight in it for 3 minutes. How he managed this is currently unknown. As a reindeer, Chopper was naturally born with high levels of cervid speed and agility. After consuming the Hito Hito no Mi, Chopper gained enhanced human physical potential added to his own. He has extreme levels of superhuman endurance, able to withstand powerful attacks from Kumadori, and even when badly injured, Chopper could force himself to transform into Monster Point and ultimately survive the immense strain, despite his injuries and fatigue that left him unable to move. During the 2 years he spent in the Torino Kingdom, Chopper underwent extensively intense physical training to further increase his natural physical strength in his base form, which results in vast improvements of his own Fruit enhanced physical abilities whenever he transforms. His Heavy Point is now powerful enough to counter a hammer strike from an energy steroid enhanced Dawson, as well as holding back a door against a group of rampaging giantificate children. His new Kung Fu Point form possesses the extreme punching strength of Arm Point while retaining the immense agility of Jumping Point. His Brain Point, which is his weakest form, is now strong enough to easily carry 2 large iron balls while running at full speed to escape from a murderous brulee. In addition to the various transformation of his Fruit, Chopper is also a powerful self-taught hand-to-hand combatant. He is very skilled in boxing and wrestling, which he typically combines with the increased physical strength of Heavy Point to defeat numerous enemies with ease. With Kung Fu Point, he can use Kung Fu, which he used to defeat several members of the Ammonites, which consist of fishmen who possess 10 times the strength of ordinary humans. There's a lot more I could talk about Chopper, but this is already a long enough video as it is, so this is the perfect time to end it here. Next week I plan to cover the Captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, look forward to it. And that will be all for this video. If you like this video, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, or subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content as well as other manga content, and till the next time, take care.